Hello and welcome to Digital Minds and Dark Dreams. And this is episode 8. Ooh. And today we're going to talk a little bit about positive intelligence or PQ, in which I actually convinced Alicia to join me for a 6-week program, just learning how to shift the neural pathways in her brain. And today we're going to discuss a little bit about her perception of the program and the 6 weeks and how she found the 6 weeks, if she found it interesting or if she actually felt she learned something about how to shift her mindset into a more positive one. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
welcome to the world of positive intelligence.
yeah,
Titi.
yeah. Ching.
Yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate the invitation because obviously as a excellent coach that you are, you noticed that I was a bit down and you said, "Oh, what about joining me in this?" I was like, "Yeah, okay, let's try that." And yeah, it's been enlightening. It's been all sorts of different feelings. But I suppose we could start with the definition because I think at the first thing I thought of was, oh, it's gonna be another of these just think positive mumbo jumbo things, and they're gonna forget about the dark side, and we need the dark side. And
Yeah.
yeah, so if you had to describe it to a new client, how do you normally sell this as in something beneficial?
I'm saying that this is one of the courses where you actually learn not to like use it just for the 6 weeks, because this is it's a system for you to use so you can continue using after the 6 weeks to manage to shift your mindset more in a positive way. I'm not saying that you should think positive all the time and this is a woo woo, it's like positive, because as you say, we need to have a balance in our thinking as well. So it's not just changing into like always think positive, because that's not the way, but this is changing our neural pathways in our head.
Mm-hmm.
So trying to shift from where we always go, like when I do the neural coaching as well, it's like it's shifting the way we always go. So trying to use some of these tools that you're given to change and to look at things in a different way. Because our minds is can be our best friend, but it can also be our worst enemy.
Mm.
What you learned is like Alicia's been through all these 6 weeks. You learn it's like maybe wrong to say, but I think most of us have some voices in our heads. Sounds like we're really
No, it's not wrong. It's not wrong, and you're gonna
no,
to that more and more often now out there in psychological spaces. Yeah, absolutely.
but we do, and it's
Yeah.
like humans are the only ones that can actually. I don't know
Mhm.
if you know this, and I don't know if I told you this, but humans are the only race that actually can have thoughts about our thoughts.
Yes, meta thinking. Yes.
Yes. So the meta thinking is something we as humans actually are the only ones who have, in which we know. But it's like I can think a thought, and at the same time I can think, oh my God, Cecilie, like what the hell? Sorry for my language, but
Uh,
yeah, it's like so that is the way we learn this, and you have learned to like get to know your judge, which
mm,
is the main saboteur, and then you learn to know the 9 other saboteurs. But on the course, you'll work with your 2 topmost saboteurs, but you'll learn about all of them as well. So how did you find that, Alicia?
mm.
Like I know, like working with the judge and all of that.
Oh,
How did you
yeah.
find working with the judge and the saboteurs?
Yeah, it was interesting that the judge came up as something that we all have. I think that was when when you take on new courses and you're learning new things, we all have these preconceived ideas before we even start. And I think that was one of the good positive points where that preconceived idea about having the judge that I thought it was just only mine or a few people out there. We have the judge like the main saboteur thing. But actually finding out that everybody has this judge which actually I thought, obviously, it makes sense. It's kind of obvious when you realize it, because in the Jungian space, that would be a shadow figure.
Yeah.
Well, and the saboteurs would be archetypes in the Jungian language. So, of course, we all have all those archetypes or all those figures, and it makes a lot of sense that the judge is like the prime one, is the guy that rules the show, because I think that's the societal voice.
Yeah.
So for me, that was like, yes, it's that archetype, is that profile, is that voice that is really, really strong. And probably we started peeling it off when you start figuring out the origins of that voice. It's probably a blend of society, parents, your friends, and it's not so much your own voice, I don't think. After a few weeks now that we've disconnected from the course, even though we keep getting messages, and as you know, I wanted to do it properly because I didn't follow it every day, and I'm thinking, right, I'm gonna do it properly this second time around. But it was enlightening how, when thinking about it every day, because it keeps coming back every day now that we know about it, it's like it's there every day. And yeah, I think is it, what is this judge voice?
Yeah.
What is it made of? Why do we have that voice? Is it something only characteristic of the West? Because I think the East, they don't have that much.
What they say is this is a global thing. So that is the course has actually been all around the world. So
Right.
it's a global course, and that what is what they found is that
Mm.
this could be put into every culture. It doesn't have to be like specific into Western culture, because the judge is there for everyone, even though you're Asian or Norwegian or Spanish or Scottish. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but
So
that's Europe. Yeah, they do say that in the West we don't see the world the same way. But yeah, we all share common
yeah.
things. So yeah, that makes sense. Sorry, you can continue.
No, but it's like we have one of the guys in the course as well who wasn't Norwegian or European.
True, true.
Yeah. So seeing that it made sense, he was Indian. So
Yeah,
for
but
him it made
he's
sense as well.
in the world of, even though he might come from a different culture, I think is the fact that he has to internationally connect with the other side of the world to make his business as well. There's a lot of European or Western mentality, even in the East, it's like
But we've been
affected.
talking about this like outside the course as well, and he was telling me about his upbringing and when he was a boy and everything. So it's the same thing. It works even though. So that was why I said it's global. They have the same, even if you're from Europe or wherever. It's this, as you say, it's probably a mix of the society, our upbringing, our parents, or like everything put on you, that is the judge. And then the judge kind of pulls the other saboteur, so the accomplice saboteurs, to just see, okay, in this situation, I know that I can trigger Alicia now with just so it's like the saboteurs is what I say is building our pathways. It's like building the way you think, the way you handle stuff, the way your what do you think, your thought patterns, your action patterns is like, okay, this happens, so then I know it's in this instant. You go like, okay, this makes me mad, this makes me sad. So it's just the judge know who to pull in to trigger you.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's kind of because the finding the judge is not easy. For many people, finding the judge is like, can't really find him. Don't think I have him. And I was the same. I was like, okay, I had a sneaky judge who was like, "Is that?" Mhm. And then suddenly I was like, oh my God, that is actually the judge. It's the sneaky bastard, in which I call him, where it's kind of it's pretending to be a best friend. It's pretending to protect you. It's pretending to help you. And then you go like, yeah, of course. Yeah, it's protecting me. Like, yeah, and then you go like, no.
Yeah. And like in your case, like he says, can we say the name of the guy who runs the show of the positive intelligence?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
He says that it might look different for all of us. And I found really interesting when it says that some people call it different names. So is it yours when you've been thinking of your judge? Is it male? Is it female? For me, that's an interesting part. Does it look like you with a different face? Does he, when you found your judge, can you visualize it? Because that's an interesting thing
I've
for
tried to
people.
visualize it, but it's mine is kind of a shapeshifter. Sometimes it's
So
female and
Gothic.
sometimes it's male.
Okay.
So sometimes it's this female voice and sometimes it's a male voice. So I haven't really
Mhm.
kind of shaped it because it depends on what kind of situation I'm in.
And do you think that it might actually mutate or change shape depending on who you're having a conversation with?
Might be the situation, might be the person I'm conversating with. It might be. So I think it's many factors actually playing a part in which kind of voice comes up. Because as we say, and that is actually a brilliant thing. It's like when you said it's a combination of
Yeah.
society, it's ourself, it's our upbringing, it's our parents, it's everything kind
Yeah.
of put on us. And this is the way to do it. This is the right way to do it. And I think for me, it's like sometimes the female voice talks to me when it's, yeah, maybe it's my mom's voice coming to say something which she has been telling me. So, and sometimes it's maybe a male voice which is kind of made its mark in me, going like, so
Mm.
yeah, it's a shape-shifting thing, and I find it, I have actually an exercise in which I do with the neurocoaching, which is called the kind of, not the elephant in the room, but it's the dragon dance.
Dragon dance. I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, maybe we should try that once. But actually, that dragon was, but it was more like have you seen the Monsters Inc?
Yes, I love it.
Like the lady with the glasses. And she was like,
Yeah.
but that was kind of when I did that exercise with one of my coach colleagues.
Right.
That was like, my God, does she look like this? And she was, again, not too big, was kind of small, but that was not talking about the judge, but it's kind of a
Come
bit
on.
of the same thing. It's a, what do you say? Yeah, it's a, not a demon, but it's somebody who's kind of, mm. And the
Well,
voice can be
mm,
harsh, it can be nagging, it could be dark. So for me, it was,
yeah,
yeah,
that would be shadow in Jungian terms. That would be shadow because it's a female figure and it's a part of you that you don't normally see straight away. It comes either in dreams or in looking for it, like doing an exercise of that sort will come up. So that's
yeah,
a shadow figure. And the more different from you and the more that you don't relate to it, it means also is the more buried in the unconscious it is. So it's there. That's why you say it makes a lot of sense when you say it's not easy to find it. It's because it's something from the really deep unconscious. So we can agree on that, looking
yeah, it
at
is.
different angles, because at the end of the
Yeah,
day, we're both talking about voices in the head, not meaning that we're paranoid, but as in we all have these internal conversations with different voices and different things. So yes, if we're trying to peel all that at the end of the day, we're trying to figure out what is our unconscious mind trying to tell us
yeah. And
and
it's a gift for
what
us.
yeah, what is a warning and what is they trying to tell us? And sometimes this judging voice is actually trying to get our attention as well.
Yeah,
Say, well, if you don't listen, I'm going to take over and I'm going to be more and more prominent. That would be, in Jungian terms, would be that. So yeah, for me, the judge was a lightening point of view. Was yeah, for me, it's something that could be shadowy, but it could also have positive sides. Although the positive side of the judge, could we say, is the sage? Would you say that would be
yeah.
the direct opposite, Or would be the sage the opposite of all the negative? Can we say that they are negative as well? That's another question. Can we say that is the judge always negative? Can we say, because if we think in archetypal ways, archetypes are not necessarily bad. They have both positive and negative. It's just that when they're not balanced is when we are at risk. Does that work the same way with positive intelligence, do you think? It's because the word positive can create this breaking up with the balance for some of us.
Yeah, sometimes positive can be negative for some people, if you say, yeah. But I think that, yeah, of course, but it's again, it's trying, as I said, my judge is sneaky. So it's trying to tell me that this is for your own best. This is so in one way, yes, he or she wants my best, but still not, because as we say, the saboteurs has actually been built since childhood. But now that we're grown up, we don't need them anymore because we are safe, we are protected, we are who we are. And as you know, the course is also finding back to who your authentic self is, trying to find who is actually Alicia, who is Cecilia, and what is actually things like we looked at the childhood picture, which is one of the exercises.
That's great.
And I love that one because it's like looking back and it's like I was fun, I was curious, I was kind of cheeky, as I think you said as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, that is me. It's like and finding back to that is probably my essence.
Yes. And it
I do
comes
like
out.
humor. I like to be a bit cheeky, and I sometimes say things before I actually think. I think most people who know me knows that. And it is finding back to that and kind of taking away the saboteurs that have built kind of since we were little. I don't need them anymore because I'm safe taking care of myself. And
but are we really safe, Cecilie? Because we are constantly fighting things. I mean, the more you go in depth into learning about everything about ourselves, I find that we are never really safe.
why do you say that? That is kind of a curious thing. Why do you say that we're never safe?
Well, because for as long as we are connected to others and we're exposed to the world and then we've been exposed to everything, are we completely safe? You're never completely safe. You can learn to develop tools to feel safe, but there's always a threat, always. Again, not if there wasn't a threat, things would be too perfect, and then nothing would happen. It would be static. We need the threat. You see, I'm always going to bring the dark into it because we need a dynamic. We need, like saying to my son yesterday, we were having this conversation I was telling you about before. He's 14 and we're talking about relationships and being balanced healthily, mentally with being in a society and knowing how to deal with that and it was saying yeah, because he's very picky, very strict, we've been talking about that. And I said to him, but you're gonna find always imperfections in people because everybody has shadow, everybody has dark sides. What we need to do is to learn or to ask ourselves, can I cope with the dark sides of this person? Can I cope with the things I don't like so much? Otherwise,
But is it necessarily threats? Because I think
they can put your own mental health at jeopardy. They can trigger things on you.
they can trigger things, but I don't think I wouldn't define them as threats because I think that it all comes down to how we actually handle the things. So I think that we're kind of constantly being thrown all these obstacles and learnings. So in my head, I think they're more learnings. Yeah, it's probably coming from a dark place because it's supposed to learn us stuff. So if you're being kind of thrown some difficult stuff, of course, it's in my head, it's the learning. It's not for me. I don't look at it as threats.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I'm all with you in the kind of the dark and the light, if you can say it like that, that we all have dark and light things. But I wouldn't see others as, of course, people can wanting to harm us. People can,
Mm.
uh, yeah, but I don't think I would use the word threats.
I think it depends. Yeah, it's interesting because we're using the vocabulary based on who we are and who we feel we are. And based on my conversations with my analyst, for example, I know that my tendency, my personality, I'm pretty much what's that word now? Not genuine. Yes, I'm genuine, but it's not the word. Um,
Generally,
no, like not childish because that would sound like a bit on the negative side. Gullible, and yeah, I've always be like, I will always think positive about people. This is kind of funny you
yeah,
say that, right? I'm like a child. I've got this
naive.
naivety. That's right. Yes,
Yeah,
I'm too naive. And when people are too naive, there is a dark side to that. It attracts naivety, attracts shadow. And you think about people who are in toxic relationships, and you have someone that is really vibrant and sparkly and positive, and then is with someone that is right straight the opposite, because they attract each other. It's just the opposites, they attract each other. So I have that side. I am still too gullible and still too naive. So for me, learning to that naivety, not to go against myself, and that's not even something external, it's my own. I see
yeah,
other things as threats, probably because I still am not at the place or at the point like you may be, where you can take that distance and say, it's not going to affect me because you have that filter. Or before you go into being affected negatively by things, people, you are taking the previous steps, which are, let's just give this time, let's see how it goes. And you are not with your sword there fighting it, you just kind of, yeah, I'll show you what I need to show you on myself, and then I'll be present. And then if something is not convenient, it'll just kind of go. You have mechanisms, I don't. So we have to think that we all are wired differently too, and
absolutely.
by molded by the experiences and everything. But there's also something innate in us that probably is not a judgy figure. Is on the contrary, if we think of ourselves as children, we were all playful, innocent, that kind of thing. Some of us grow up and we haven't lost that. We still
Yeah.
like that.
Again,
We still think that everybody's good until proven contrary. But
but did you notice what you said when you said talking about the threats? You said, I'm learning.
yes, yes,
So it's for
yes,
me,
yes,
I'm kind of choosing to not say threats because in my head, I'm the only threat against myself
yes, yes. In a way, yes, you can
in a
say
way, because
allow it or not. Yeah.
it's again, as I said, learning. It's like the other people are learning me stuff, and it's up to me to set the boundaries. So I'm learning along the way, even though it could be your mom, your dad, your friend, like
Everybody teaches you something. Yeah, everybody teaches
yes.
something. Yeah.
So you can choose to look at them as threats, or you can choose to look at them as, okay, they're learning me something. Because in my head, I think that every person you meet, they have their history, they have their
Mm.
luggage, they have things that they need to learn. So for me, it's protecting myself and learning to set the boundaries.
Yeah, but again, if you protect yourself, why are you protecting yourself? Because somehow there's some kind of threatening
Yeah,
thing.
but it's again the wording, but
Yeah,
I wouldn't choose to use the word threats because they're challenging me. Some people are
yeah,
more challenging than others,
yeah.
and I am the same. I've always been kind of what was the word I use?
Naive, naive, naive.
Naive. That's really, I've been naive as well. It's like sometimes I don't really see the what do you say, the say that somebody is like interested in you, and I was like, I couldn't really see that at all. It's like, my God, Cecilia, you should have seen it. I was like, my God, I'm kind of, yeah, in that sense naive. I could think that people are really nice, and then you go like, And no, they weren't.
Yeah, yeah. How
People
can
are
you be that
exploiting you.
twisted? Yeah. And
Yeah.
how did I not see that coming? And
But for me, it's like maybe it's my naivety coming there again, because I think, okay, they're doing this to me because they don't know any better themselves. They
yes.
haven't learned better themselves. So if say somebody is being mean to me or not treating me well, I'm thinking I'll excuse them because okay, they don't know any better. They don't know.
Hmm.
They've been kind of, they have their saboteurs, they have their experience, they have like their luggage teaching them that this is the way to treat other people. And then it's up to me to set the boundaries to say that I'm not taking this.
Yes. Yes.
You're
Yes.
exploiting me, you're hurting me, you're doing something I don't really like. So then I'm learning to set the boundaries and saying, okay, I did this the last time. For example, say in a relationship and you go like, oh, this guy wasn't really, he's doing the same thing. Is it now for me to like set up some boundaries? Maybe this is the time I should do that.
Yeah, but then also, are we overthinking ourselves as well? I've been thinking that lately. Are we overthinking everything? We're taking courses on to analyze our own brains. Why are we doing that? No, no, but I mean, you do it, I do it, and we're all like into different missions to understand every single thing that we do. If we want to lose weight, we look at all these different diets, all the different names. If we want to be happy, we look at all the methods. We're not relaxed anymore. It is kind of a threatening world. I have to use the word again because we are
Yeah.
constantly defending ourselves. What for? What is, it's connected to that fear that you were talking about. Yes, I've not replied to your message because I'm like, at the end of fear of death.
Yeah, what is
At
yeah,
the end of
I
fear,
can
yeah, I've got the answer. Is death, but no, I can't just go, is death? That's the first thing that came to mind. But you need to do an exercise of saying, okay, what is it that you feel? But that's something for me to work on and for us to talk about maybe another day. But there are threats, or we make it all threatening.
Yeah, but just kind of replying to you in regards to what you just said, and yeah, we were all looking at all of this, and okay, we're dieting, we want to get slim and like beach body ready and everything. It's like the thing I noticed, as I told you, I've been looking into a bit of trauma coaching the
Mm.
last weeks, and what I noticed is that cool, sorry, my cat came.
Hello, she's
Sorry,
there jumping. I
yeah,
can potatoes.
it's
I'm
this
flipping.
is my fair being no, but just thinking that so many people have problems being in the moment. So I
Yes.
think that like we're looking outside ourselves for
I like the
finding
popcorn.
for finding the solutions, like looking outside instead of going inside and going inside ourselves and spending the moment being where you're at, being present in the moment, because that is also when it comes to trauma, it's like you're eloping, you're not in the present moment because you're going looking back on things that have been, you're looking forward. And it's like, for example, one of my clients she's always doing something going ahead. She's maybe feeling the things she's experienced, never in the moment, always looking ahead, always planning ahead, always like so she's never actually where she's at.
Yeah.
So I think that is also we're looking outside, and I think it's a good thing because we're learning from that. Like, okay, what do I need to diet? How do I get deeper into my own mind?
Yeah.
What are my triggers? And I think, yeah, it's good because we're learning.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Again, I just find that for me as well, like doing all this coaching and doing these courses, having clients and learning from all of you, it's just learning and seeing like life and our thoughts from different
Yeah.
perspectives. But the more I actually dig into things, the more I'm seeing I need to be present in the moment. I
Yeah,
need
for
to be
sure.
enjoying, for example, like
Yeah.
having a cat on my lap who's interrupting and she's just like the time with you, like being in the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, but that I
Having a
think
good meal.
that's one thing. I know that everything is connected, but one thing is being present, and the quality of that present time with your surroundings, people, even with yourself when you're in your own space, with your own body, you're on your own. That being present is very, very important. And another thing is how, going back to the word threat, because that's it's a good word, the saboteurs, they threatening us as well. It is a negative thing when you think about it, because if they're making you miserable, if they're making you shout at others, that's not positive. Um,
Positive intelligence. I'm just kidding.
yes, yes, yes. No, it's true. It's called positive intelligence, but it's actually a technique or a method that looks into very much the dark side of our brains, of those voices. We're not saying how pretty they all are. We're saying we have one, the sage mode, which would be probably in Jungian terms, we were talking about the self, and that's when you also reach your individuation process, which is all the uniting all the parts of you. It's not about getting rid of them. It's about balancing them as well.
Yeah,
But
because
having
that's what
threats,
I'd say as well. The saboteurs
yeah,
are positive. It's like when we start talking about the saboteurs, as you know, we start, every saboteur has this positive thing. It's like you have the
yeah,
restless, you have the stickler, and it's being a stickler,
the
like
two,
being
you
a
have the
perfectionist.
table. Yeah, you have the table with the
It's
positive
good, you're
and the negative.
structured,
It's
you
true.
know, you're aiming for the best, but it's when
Yeah,
it's taken too far. That's
yeah,
when it becomes a saboteur. So all of the saboteurs have their positive influences on us, but it's taking too far. It's like the restless taking too far, the stickler, the hypervigilant, when it's kind of it's good to be aware of things that are not good for you, and you should be taking into consideration driving a car or
yes, yes.
jumping
But you
aboard.
need
Yeah.
them. So yeah, it's not that we don't need them anymore. It's that probably we yeah, to lower their impact in us. It's like, okay, I don't need you being that vigilant anymore. Yes,
No.
be there if there's a threat, as in someone that might hurt me, then come up and say, hey, that might be risky. And okay, thank you, I listen to that, but I'm not going to let you overtake the show or ruin the
No.
show. So yeah, creating that awareness is good. So then it doesn't grow and it doesn't go over.
And that is what is the course about. It's awareness. It's
Yes,
as I said, like peeling the layers of the onion.
yeah,
It's creating the awareness that, oh my God, I actually have a stickler. I'm a perfectionist. I'm a restless. I have the hypervigilant. And is it actually, what do you say, serving me
yeah, yeah,
for my best
yeah.
in all situations? So the whole PQ course for me is awareness, and also
Mm.
when you take the course, you learn the PQ reps. And what are the PQ reps? The PQ reps are being present. Is yeah. As you said, you did it yourself automatically, like driving in the car with Alistair. It was like,
Yeah.
yeah. So for me, it's like the PQ course is something that grows on you, because I had a yoga instructor as well who joined the course, and she
Yeah.
said, but this is a mix of, this is kind of yoga, it's mindfulness,
Yes,
it's the breath work,
yes,
it's everything into a course where you learn to get to know your thoughts and mind better. You learn to get your like to be more present in your body.
yeah.
So for me, it's been, since I took this course myself, I think it's 5 or 6 years ago.
And it's still resonating and it's still working. Yeah.
And it's building. So it's what
Mm.
they say. It's a system that you can actually build upon and you can use,
Yeah.
and it's kind of growing with you.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's so much to unpack as well. I mean, explained and practiced slightly in 6 weeks is not enough. It's not, you can't go that much in
Oh,
depth.
that's
6 weeks.
yeah.
Exactly. It's been shrunk in the time, and it's just like a little taste of how much more you can do. And I like that, because it's not okay, that's it, you've done it, next. No, for me, things when they stay for a bit in my head, is that's what I said to you. Well, let me see how it goes, as in if it still resonates in a few months or not. It means that it's a good thing, because it makes you go take it further and to think more. It's like a, when people say, is this a good book? You read a book and they say, oh, was it good? And I say, well, I don't know. But did you like it? Well, yeah, I did enjoy it. But I will say to you, or I will consider it. I'm not the perfect person maybe to say if a book was good or not. I will say if it stays with me for a long time, it's probably bound to be one of the best books. Whether it has recognition out there or not, that's a different matter. Whatever the canon is and whatever people nowadays think, that might be now and in 10 years' time that changes, so that's also variable. But if something stays with you and it makes you keep investigating, it makes you keep going back to it, then it's positive. It's something to take on board and keep working on. So yeah, definitely, that's one of the things that works out with, even though I do have some resistance to some things, as you know. But again, that resistance is also a sign that there's a problem that I need to work on. Not so much as to say, oh, the course is not good. It's more to say, right, why do I have that resistance? Which is great. Again, it creates that awareness. And when Shehzad says, don't judge this, just give it time, I think that's perfect as well. He has some few phrases that, okay, I'll buy it. Yes.
Right, but it's learning, as we said, and I have like repeatedly said in every pod meeting, it's like blameless discernment.
Yes.
And I think that is the most important thing in the whole course. It's actually looking at all these things that you have that are kind of, what do you say, threats to you or thoughts or whatever.
Yeah.
And just using the blameless discernment is like, don't beat yourself up.
Yes.
It's like, okay, I did it this way when I did it in that situation, I did it this way based on the knowledge I had at the moment. This is the way I handle the situation. So, for example, looking back at the situation, how would I have handled this now? Would I have done it differently? Could I look at something else? Because you get all these different tools in regards to the powers, like you have the empathize, the explore, the innovate, navigate, and activate. So you have different tools in way to look at situations. And for me, it's like using the blameless discernment, like looking back on things. For example, like the breakup with my kid's dad, for example, using that. Okay, I did that based on the knowledge I had at the moment. So
yeah,
I could have done things differently, but I did it the way I did. He did it the way he did.
Yeah.
How can I use, for example, empathy towards him, towards myself? And again, the blameless discernment. So
yeah. That's really clear, and it's become a lot clearer as you were teaching us in the course. It was like this kind of expression that you had to keep repeating because it is a difficult
what you're
one
actually
to,
saying, yeah.
yeah, it's kind of, yeah, I get it, but not quite. And yes, and I think I found a really good example yesterday listening to to a video podcast that my sister sent me to check on an oncologist that talks about how much is stress affecting us due to current problems I have with my illness, as you know, my health. So I have a few things going on there. But when you look around, I don't have cancer. Good. That's the one thing we could tick off about. No cancers, no tumors. But the levels of stress that we all have, and certainly the ones that are showing in my tests, could lead to things like that. So there was this oncologist talking about stress, and the one thing that she said was how many people go to her practice, people who have been treated for cancer and they're on recovery or they're in the process, and they feel guilty for even being ill. And for me, that was like such an aha moment. It clicked with this blameless discernment that you say, because we even feel guilty for being ill. How terrible is that? Who's telling us that? Again, don't tell me that we don't live in these threatening societies. We are constantly, we're constantly fighting and bouncing off balls. But some of them stay, and they stay deep, and we think that we're moving away from problems. But when the problem is still in your head, you can be, the brain is a temporal and there's no time and space. And so you keep replicating the same idea, thought, memory, and you don't even realize it. So why do we keep blaming ourselves? As you say now, that happened that way. I did it like that. It's not because I was, it's not because I have a psychopathic tendency and I wanted to, I was enjoying that moment. It was because you did with your tools and your knowledge, your experience, your age, what you thought it was best. And I'm sure your other half was trying the best he could. And
Yeah,
they
based on
tried,
his experience and it. Yeah.
the same thing. Yes. So why do we keep doing this to ourselves? We don't even need to look for the scary things outside. Our own brains, which is why we do these courses, don't we, are such a hazard because I'm ill and it's the path. I mean, I'm ill. That is going to stop me from producing more work, and therefore it's going to have another financial strain on my finances, yeah, my economy. Then I did this wrong. Obviously, I wasn't looking at my business in such a way. Why am I building up stress, or why have I built up stress? It's because the way I was handling my business. So it's always the fault. So the judge comes all the time.
Yeah.
Yes, you did it like this. It's because of that. It's because you didn't put boundaries. And when you go to therapy, when you do courses, you realize, oh, it's because I did all these things wrong.
Yeah.
And my analyst says, you always think I'm judging you. And I'm like, yes, I want to be perfect, the perfect patient. You wouldn't be here if you were perfect, she would say.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's like, wow, do you want to be perfect for? I'm not judging you. And I'm like, oh, the word judge keeps coming up all the time. We keep judging. And even if we are aware, it's a bastard. you know? Sorry.
But it's what we say, it's like judging ourselves, judging others,
Oh, yeah.
judging the situation as well.
Mm.
But most of the time, we're actually judging ourselves.
Oh, yes.
It's like a few of my clients have they judge others more than they judge themselves. So when we go into that, it's really interesting. But most of us actually judge ourselves the most.
Yes. Yes.
So again, what you say in regards to health as well.
Mm.
It's like, as you know, I'm a reflexologist as well. And what I find really the most fascinating thing about when I did the reflexology is, for example, where in the body do you feel these aches and pains?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because just knowing that will tell me a lot of things in regards to what you're actually thinking about. What are you stressing about? Because every like sign in our body is, and the more I become aware of this myself, it's like, as you know, I've been
Mm.
having the health things as well.
Yeah.
And it's just for me, I went to the doctors, took all these blood tests, and everything was good. And I know, my God, it's actually my own head and my own thoughts affecting my body this way. And that says to me how much my mind and my head and my thoughts affect my health.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
for me, that was a bit scary. Okay, that could be a threat, but I'm thinking that I'm the only one who can change it. Because for me, it was that was an aha moment where I
Mhm.
thought, okay, it's actually me, myself, and I posting this on my health and my body. I need to shift things. Otherwise, this won't work.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm stressing myself. But again, I need to use the blameless discernment. So it's coming in and saying, okay, but I'm doing this to myself. Nobody else is doing this to me. It's me doing this to myself. So how can I actually treat myself better? How
Yeah.
can I change my thoughts? How can I change the way I'm stressing myself? How can I actually help myself?
Yeah. Yeah. But and we don't know how deep that goes either, because as you said, you go for tests. And there's another problem I think here, and it's a very important one, that in general, medicine, healthcare is not really at the level that we need it to be.
No.
You go to the doctors, you take some tests, and they come out okay, but what are the chances that those tests are not enough? And this is kind of scary, and I've realized recently, I mean, I knew that because of my sister's Lyme disease and now me having it too and all the things, but talking to the doctor that is running all the new tests and stuff, he's a traditional doctor, and he has, as I told you, privately, he's also studied Chinese medicine, he's holistic medicine, naturopathy. He's always in seminars, and he's always learning new things, that new discoveries, new medication, new products that are less aggressive and invasive. He knows how to treat people the traditional way with the chemical, the chemical, not chemical, no chemistry, the pharmaceutical traditional way. Yeah, the drug was giving you drugs, the market drugs, the official ones. But he also, the first thing he will try to do is to change our bodies, as Tara Swartz says. Our bodies have all the chemistry, they have all the tools, they have all the ingredients. It has all the ingredients that we need to balance ourselves. The problem is when we are not eating properly, we're not exercising properly, we're not listening to ourselves properly, but we don't actually, if we don't have the proper tests, that's the other thing that doesn't depend on us. If we don't have the proper medical staff prepared enough to say, let's look at this more in depth, and then they because they run out of ways of sending you to different specialists and you're still in pain, then they send you to the psychiatrist. I'm sorry, but there's something really wrong with the health system out there. And talking to my doctor, he did say this is what happens to patients like yourself, that you get a negative result from the GP from a Lyme disease, from an infection, and you might go, this just gets worse. You might not even have symptoms now, but in the long term, you'll have Crohn's disease, then you'll have a multiple sclerosis, you'll have all these things that are not just, they get treated individually at the moment, but they don't look back at the source of what originated that. To understand how to treat something, you need to understand the origin. And how is that person mentally coping with it? So if I'm sending Cecilia to the psychiatrist when actually what she needed was a proper blood test, where she knows exactly the amount of the omegas that she has or not, how much amount of vitamin D she needs or not. Are they all doing that? No, they're not. They are not. And we do have doctors out there shouting, oncologists from different places. It's this doctor I was telling you about that I just learned about it 2 days ago. She talks about cancer in an integrative way. And even though she's a specialist on cancer, she says the patient needs to be looked at integrative, which for me is another word for holistic.
Yeah, I was supposed to say it's holistic, looking at the holistic view.
Yeah. Yes. So, for as much as we want to change our thoughts and everything, if we are already under some kind of stress and we need the external vitamins, the external, change of habits and all that, all goes hand in hand. But if you're not giving the right amount, or your doctor is putting down your throat a huge amount of something that you don't even need, our bodies are tired, and at a cellular and microscopical level, there's another word for that. We're not just thoughts, we're also an organism made up of a lot of different lives inside of us, and bacteria, good bacteria, that helps our digestions and our brains. So if you have a foggy brain, my neurotransmitters at the moment are broken. So intellectually, I'm down. That means that I have gaps, I stop too much. I can tell when my words go away, and you can see this in this podcast. Sometimes I don't know what I was saying. Ha ha ha. It's not actually funny. It's very scary.
Yeah, it is when you're actually sitting there and go like, what did I actually say? And what,
I don't even know where I am. It just might be a matter of seconds, but your neurotransmitters are broken. And that's because nobody has stopped to look at you properly. So,
but it's what you say, it's missing the holistic view on the health, because now it's so separated into like physical health, and then you have mental health. And physical, it's okay for you to have physical problems, but for you to have mental problems, society is not okay with the mental part. The physical is okay because we can see it. If you broke your arm, if you broke your leg, if you have a hit your head, we can see it. But the mental is, and the thing I'm kind of bedazzled about is that why can't people see that we're all one? It's like it's connected. Our physical health is connected to our mental health.
Yeah.
You can't separate the two.
I know, I mean, it just really shocks me as well because there are new voices, new doctors coming out saying this that sounds like wow, nobody had noticed before. This is bullshit. We knew this.
Yeah.
We already know this. I've been talking to friends about this a long time ago, and I'm not even a doctor. It's just kind of
No.
common sense. You look at Plato, look at Aristotle. They knew these things. Mens sana in corpore sano. Come on. You know, in the Romans' time, they knew these.
Yeah.
What's happening to us? We're becoming stupid.
Yeah,
And
we're kind
we
of
need
moving away from the, yeah,
you
it's
know, we need
going
these
the wrong
courses.
way.
We need courses to realize, and we're spending thousands of dollars and euros and pounds and whatever, krona, and in courses that to me are common sense. We've forgotten to have common sense. We've forgotten what is obvious. I don't know what the hell we're being fed, but it's all in our food. It's all in. We're broken, literally. We're broken. So how can they separate mental health when it's actually mental health is biological? The origin is biological.
Yeah.
You know, how can I actually, you know, you need to be balanced mentally. Yes, okay, but if biologically I'm missing nutrients and my leukocytes are down and my neurotransmitters are broken, I don't sleep properly. I can't perform properly. What the are you telling me?
Yeah.
So, yes, again, look at it. So, you know, you go to the you know, for example, my sister, she's studying she just has a coaching certificate for helping people with their diets, but for people with health problems like Lyme disease, like she's is the one she's got. And she has people that say, okay, what diet can I have if I have all these things? And then the first thing she goes and says, okay, on the one hand, we need to look at how you psychologically wired. So I'm going to derive you to my psychologist because he's very good at that. But then at the same time, I'm going to send you for some blood tests to exactly know what is missing, what is underneath. Because how can you eat your healthy, balanced food diet if you don't know what's going on in the body? You know, it kind of scares me when sometimes you say, yeah, I'm taking my vitamins D, and I go, do you know the doses that you you know,
Just a large one. Yes.
is that the one that you require? How do you know that that is not affecting a part of you that you're working really, really hard on being super up there? And we are our own threat.
Yeah, we
How
are.
can I get rid of the word? It's everywhere, Cecilia. It's everywhere because we're patching up.
But
We,
could I ask you, did you have the hypervigilant? Is that one of your
no, 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 no. I'm the multi-armed guy. What is the restless?
restless? Yes. Yeah, I was just thinking because yeah, but it's all kind of how we define it, I think, as well. Because yeah, if you call it threats or it's just for me, it's sometimes the wordings we use.
Oh,
It's how
absolutely.
I choose to use my words. I'm kind of careful with that. So that is why I'm saying for me it's more a learning than a threat because that is the way I want to look at it. If you kind of
Yes.
see my perspective as well. So
Yes,
for
yes.
me it's more okay, it's a learning for me. It's not a threat.
Mm.
I feel that okay, many things could be a threat. It's like for my health, but yeah, for my sake, it's more like okay, how can I deal with that? If it's something happening to me, I have to deal with it, and how do I deal with it? So
Yeah, yeah, but again, through the words that you're making me think, I'm using the word threat all the time, and that's because if we go back to the fact that we in the primitive times we had to be aware of animals and things that were threatening our lives, we needed that to run and to but nowadays neuroscientists are saying that our levels of cortisol are really high because we are constantly in that threatening situation. We constantly feel that we've been chased by something, and now the monster is financial. We can't deny that. It's threatening our health in many ways, whether you choose to use one word or another. It's a threat. For the brain, it's a threat. Cortisol goes up, and cortisol, when it stays up all the time, causes all the inflammation. Oh yeah, I've taken an intensive course since I've been ill. It's like, whoa, this is what's happening. And it's a reality. I'm not being extreme. I'm just trying to be realistic.
Yeah, but it's, for example, as I said about the wording, so the words we use, for me, that has been kind of a really, I have this lady I listen to many times, and she is also saying, okay, if you say that, say, for example, your brain is a bread, it's a slice of bread, it's a loaf. So you can choose what to put on there. And she actually did a demonstration. I thought about doing this and just showing, because she said, oh, I can put toothpaste on this one and it was actually absorb it. I can put oil on this one and the loaf will absorb it.
Yeah.
I can choose to put butter on it and it will absorb it. And that's the same thing with our brains.
Yeah.
So for me, I've been like really, really conscious in regards to the words I use, because as I say, if I use like threat all the time, you know how our body will actually react to some words in some way. So if I use the word, oh, that is, oh, I'm getting sick of this, and this is a threat for me. This is making me vomit, and this is like he's all these. But now I'm losing, can't really come up with any good words. But if you use them, you go like, negative the words, and then you're kind of saying that, oh, this bus ride is killing me, for example.
Yeah.
Like the ride to work is killing me, and this is like really sickening me. And then the body will think that, oh my God, the bus ride is actually it's killing her. So maybe I should do something to help her get out of that because it's actually killing her. It's.
Or you can look at it from the other way, that actually you're coming out with that because that's how your body is noticing. And when you word it, is you need to pay attention here. Your intuition is talking for you. I don't think that it's always us in a conscious way. Vocabulary is unconscious a lot of the times. We've learned to use it consciously, but some expressions, when they come out like that, it's an unconscious thing. And it's your body saying, pay attention. Warning lights. Don't let this go, because if you feel that this ride is killing you, it's because it's killing you. And it might actually be literal. It might be that what involves being in that bus at that time means that you're going from A to B to a job that you hate. All the consequences of that. Why are you saying that? It's not so much that I'm choosing these words and then that's going to shape my brain. Obviously, if I keep repeating the same crap, yes. But hang on, if it's coming out that way, my body's trying to do something.
You need to ask some questions.
Yes. I think we need to get it from both sides.
Of course, because it's a warning sign, because then you think, as you say, this bus ride is killing me. Is it actually killing you? It's what I said with the exercise I gave you with fear as well. It's asking the question. So, okay, why am I thinking now that this bus ride is killing me? Do I hate my job? And if the answer to that is no, I actually do love my job. So what is the issue here with? So do I need to make some changes? Do I need to, okay, should I kind of, and that is where the positive intelligence come in. Okay, look at it curiously.
Yes.
Okay, bus ride is killing me. Yeah, is it actually killing you? So could you look with that, like using empathy, using the activate, the navigate? It's like all of these to see, okay, how can I actually look at this? Is it, for example, I do love my job. I'm going actually taking a bus ride to the job I love. So what is it with this bus ride?
It might be the people in it. It might be the length of time it takes. Yeah, but It's like in a way it's kind of common sense, you know.
Yeah, but it's actually taking us back to the common sense. I think for me, the PQ, the whole course, and like I am a certified coach in PQ as well. It's like it's learned me to kind of going back to the common sense, being present.
Yeah, it's
For
totally
example,
right.
being present in at the bus ride and thinking, why am I actually saying to myself that this bus ride is killing me? Could
Mm.
I shift it and say that, okay, I actually do have some time while on the bus, I can listen to a podcast, which
But
actually,
yeah, that would be to look at the positive side of being in that
yeah,
painful. Yeah, but that's I think that's a bit different. Yes, it's that
yeah,
would be like
it's same, but different.
yeah. Well, no, I think if you say this bus ride is killing me, you could still allow yourself that thought, and then the next step would be, hmm, now I'm hating this, but what can I do to make it better?
Yeah, shift it.
But not to, I think I have a problem with erasing things. I don't think we should erase things unless, yes, they are really gonna kill us. But literally, you have to erase cancer, don't you? You have to erase someone from your life that is actually gonna bring you down and kill
Not
you.
good for you.
So there are things that we need to destroy, but a punctual expression that happens only that day because of something that is like, okay, like there was an example not long ago that yeah, I was listening to another podcast that that I love this Jungian life as well. I follow these guys, and there was an episode, and they were talking about sabotaging your brain. I thought that this is just synchronicity again, the same week or the same 2 3 weeks, everybody's talking about the same stuff. There's a collective consciousness there that is
Yes.
obvious. And Lisa Marciano, she was saying that she had experienced that, she'd been flying to London to do some stuff there, to do some talks and whatever. And she had a delay on the flight. On the train, she was on the train. She had some delay there, and she was going all, ooh, it was killing her. This thing is, we were saying that she was getting really, really, and she noticed because she's a Jungian analyst. So she goes, okay, I'm getting wound up. Now, if I get wound up, what do I get? That's when the positive thinking came up. She says, what do I get from this? Nothing, because I'm going to get all my cortisol levels are going to go up. Then I'm just going to feel ill. Am I going to change anything by getting wound up? No. Oh, look, I've got people around me. She started picking on the positive sides of that situation. But it was something punctual at one time. Now,
Yeah,
if this is something that happens regularly on your way to work and you can't stand it anymore, then it's when you
that's
have to eradicate that.
yeah, that's a signal. It's a warning sign saying, I need to do something about this.
Sure, that's it. Yes. So we need to also be a bit
Of
discreet.
course.
Yeah, just saying,
Yeah,
is this a one-off or is this something that's becoming constant? Am I always using this word at all times? Then that's a sign that there's something that needs
yeah,
changing. So, and again, I suppose this is what you find out many times
fairness.
that a lot of people don't go that deep because it's tiring to go this deep as well. And your brain wants to save energy, but
Yeah,
it's necessary that we have so many inputs, and we live in these crazy societies that we need to start taking a step back and say, okay, is this good for me or not?
or yeah,
Can I look at the bright side? Can I look at the 10%? That's something really good from the course. Look at this 10%. Yes. But also, is this dark or negative side of this situation, person, relationship, something I can deal with? Is something that for me is not really vital? Then go ahead.
yeah. Or is it something I actually need, as you say, why am I using this word? Is this something I need to actually deal with
Correct.
and
Yeah.
and change? Is it
Yeah.
something, for example, if you use the explorer, for example, in the PQ, you learn something about the explorer. So could you use that and say, so why am I using this word? I've been using
Mm,
this like every day this week. I'm saying the same thing to
that's true.
myself. This is killing me. So that is kind of the fascinated anthropologist going like, Okay. And again, going deeper. So it's like I said with the PQ course as well, it's like peeling an onion. You kind of
Yeah.
going deeper into yourself and going like, okay, why am I doing this? Why am I saying this? Why am I kind of, yeah. So it's awareness. I
Yes.
think the one thing about the PQ course is creating awareness.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, yeah.
But what would you say? I think we should round up now
Yes, I
soon.
think
But
we should.
the key takeaway that you take from the PQ course now, it's been, yeah, it's 7, 8 weeks since you
Mm.
started it. So what are the key takeaways from the course and after as well, if you have anything?
Yeah, I think what did I say when we met or last time? Because it's an evolving thing, isn't it? Once when you finish the course, you feel one way, and then as days go by, you feel different, or that evolves. It's just for me is yeah to notice more, to pay more attention to what's going on when I feel discomfort,
Yeah.
or something that takes place in a conversation with a person in a situation. It's just that awareness that you talk about, and say, okay, how much of that is my own and how much is the other person's? Um, and then learn to relax at the moment that's happening. That for me, that's very important. So the breathing, I was only kind of doing breathing exercises at night, because that's what my analyst said. Well, at night, after the whole day, just do these breathing exercises. It's actually been really wonderful. But then something like yesterday, for example, my younger son, he was talking to me and he talks really fast. And we were shopping, and I was trying to listen to him and trying to think of the food, and then at some point I went, oh. And he goes, Mommy, am I annoying you? It was very visual. Bless him. And I said, no, I said, it's just that there's a lot of information around me at the moment, and this is my way of being present and listening to you. And I thought this is fantastic. So that's something that maybe previous to the course I wouldn't have actually done like that, like even going shopping, where everybody can see you going, ah.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
and I do that with the sound and everything, because it's like what comes out is great, or in a stressful conversation. And you can have a stressful conversation with your husband or with your kids, because sometimes you have a pig-headed husband that wants to be right at how much amount of water are we allowed to use now in the summer, and it goes in a circle, and you go, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's
It's
touch
like,
this pen. I'm gonna touch this pen. Is nice and soft. You've been annoying, but but, but yes, it's been present. I think that's been very useful, because, as you said before, we are not present, and I think I think, and it's out there that especially as they say, that we are not present, and it's one of the biggest problems that we've always have. Yeah, we need to look
yeah.
at the future, but we need to be more present, and we need to learn from the mistakes of the past without beating ourselves up either. So I think that's the other thing. And then it was very interesting working in the group. I think the group work was good for how the people see you, because again, we do forget, we cannot see our own backside, and that goes for your shadow aspects, but it can also go for positive things that you of yourself that you have buried,
Yeah.
but society has said, don't use that, that's not going to be beneficial, that's not going to bring money, that's not going to do this, that's not going to do that. And and being in a group with people that you don't know, all of a sudden someone comes with an adjective or with something, I said to you that you look cheeky, but you knew that. But then I was told, oh, this person is confident. Oh crap, I've lost my confidence. And
Yeah, because that was a kind of a hard thing for you, I think, when one of the
yeah,
pod members said,
yeah.
looking at your childhood picture, and you
Yeah.
said,
And that has
I
stayed.
look confident.
Yes. And that has stayed. And at what point that broke? And I'm using the word broke and breaking because it did break. And if we match that with my analysis, my blood analytics, there is a broken structure. There's a broken stuff in my brain. So I am choosing that because my body feels that way inside and is saying to me, use this word because that's how it is. So the vocabulary I'm using maybe intuitively. I'm not selecting it on purpose. That's what best defines how I feel right now. Can I change that word into something more positive? Yes, but I need to solve the problem right now. I will be able to use a different word when that's not broken. But right now it is. And we can't change that. We can't just say, no, but change that because it's not right for you. It is broken. It's what it is. It's in the analytics. Now, what you do after the knowledge, after the awareness, is the work in progress, is what you need to start changing from then on. But without taking credit of what's going on either. So yeah, I think that community as well, that other angles from people that don't really know you, again, is very good. Also, we talked about it in the past when we're talking about the shadow and everything. All the people, you can see other people's shadows straight away. You can see other positive aspects too that the other person might have forgotten. So in a community like that, it's very recommendable if you're someone who's going through some trauma and you're trying to come out of that and to be aware and everything. It's a very good community because they're not going to allow people being rude to other people. It's constructive. So I would say that that's a good place to be. To be aware of the negativity, has its own space, but let's be constructive and don't harm others. Give yourselves another time as well. That was another aha thing. Just give the chance.
Yeah.
Of the course, to me, and that's also something that as societies we've forgotten, to give people a chance as well.
Yeah. But the good thing, I think, with the pod group, in which we have like every week during the 6 weeks course, you have the pod group, and it's consistent of usually like 4 or 5 people. But it's listening and also hearing that, as you said in the beginning now in the podcast, that we all have our own problems. We all have problems. We all have our issues. And when you're in this pod with other people, and it's all like we're in this, and we're what do you say? Not we're oh, what is it? You're not allowed to share anything. So when we talk about it, we talk about it.
Yeah, we have to be. We can't just say.
Confidentiality was the word. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But again, talking in this group, and you know that the other people are there to support you. They're there to listen and to learn.
Yeah.
Then it kind of builds a group where you're actually being able to be open and share your thoughts, your feelings with others.
Yeah.
And as you said, yeah, we can all see negative and positive things. And for you to get the confidence from the other pod group member who said that in regards to your picture, and it's like, it's just so good because it kind of picks on things we lose, and we think that we're the only ones having these thoughts, we're the only ones thinking this way, and then suddenly you hear that, oh, she has maybe a couple of things that I don't have. She's probably worse off than I. Not that, but sometimes you get these ahas. It's like, okay, maybe, yeah, I'm
We're all
actually
the same. Yeah, I didn't notice that we all have exactly the same core issues. We have different lives. We come from different cultures, different backgrounds. We even have different mother tongues, and yet the core issue, the saboteurs, is something that we all share.
But that is the thing about the PQ coach course as well. It's like treating the root cause. We're not treating the symptoms of it. We're trying to like shift the root cause and target that. And that is the same for everyone. And that is so nice of you to notice as well, because that is where the PQ goes in and goes to the root cause. We all have the same one, but it's kind of building because we have different lives, we live different places, we have different families and settings and everything. So, but the root cause is the same for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think it's a social thing in a lot of cases. Is we've been dragged, societally speaking, we've been dragged a lot into where we are. And I think we owe a lot of our mental health to the surroundings. It's got a big impact in us. Obviously, we, at the end of the day, we are the ones who can redefine, modify, and change that. But it's difficult when you are like a salmon against the tide. Can you swim against the tide? Yes, they can do. That's why they're salmons. But it's difficult, and they die at the end of that because it has a purpose. That's the way it has to be for perpetuating the species. So yeah, I think there's a lot that people can benefit from by doing this course. It can complement a lot of other things that they're doing. It doesn't have to destroy or dismantle other ideas, because I found that it kind of complemented the Jungian studies and my Jungian mind as well. So it just is a different way of working with similar things, even though one doesn't derive from the other. They drink from similar theories, shall we say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is what I said to you before as well. It kind of all interconnects with the Jungian theory, the neurocoaching, the positive intelligence. Like, it's so many things.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's just one way to help you like be more aware, become more aware, and kind of shift some of your bad habits, if one can say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Destructive thoughts and yeah, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah. But I really thank you for joining the program. It was really good to have you there, because I know you're giving me so much good feedback every
Oh,
time we discuss things. It's brilliant to just go, oh, I haven't thought about that before. But yeah, this is really useful for me as well. Just learning how people, what do you say, observe the program and their
yeah.
takeaways from it.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's brilliant also for me because I'm also trying to work on the self-development space through the production of art and the Gothic elements in artistic representations through this lens, but also not forgetting our cultural background. So it's again trying to get this holistic view on things. So how to learn more about ourselves. There was the purpose in a lot of people's lives. We just like the curiosity of learning how things work, but also how humans' mind work to be happier. At the end of the day, a lot of the things that we do, even a lot of people that things that people do out there, at the end of the day, it's just that to be happy. You look at what's the purpose of this podcast or of this other product, it's to be happier, really, and to
Yeah.
be out of the rat race and the unhealthy habits and stuff. So yeah, it's always very enlightening for me too. And if anybody listens to the podcast and they walk out with some ideas and with better moods and with the curiosity of keep researching, then so be it. They can also contact us.
Yeah, that's good. If somebody's interested in the course, please let us know, and maybe I'll teach Alicia some so she can do them herself.
Oh, I will make in a mixture of things. Let's now paint your avatar. Saboteur. Paint them, draw them, stitch them, knit them,
Yeah.
make a song with them,
Yeah.
crochet them, write a story. Yes, and yes. No, it will be something that will make sense to combine a couple of activities from different fields. Maybe that's what we need to do next. So you never know what we end up doing.
Thank you guys for listening in. And if anyone has any questions in regards to the Alicia's crocheting or work or the PQ course, please let us know. And if anyone has any wishes in regards to what we should actually discuss, please let us know. We're always eager to hear from you guys. So
Absolutely.
thank you for today, and thank you for all the feedback, Alicia, in regards to the program and the course.
Thank you for your time and for offering me this opportunity as well. This has been very enlightening. Okay.
Good. So see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.